what's in you an ego state where you're showing up differently? Maybe it's an ego state of being calm and centered, or maybe there's an ego state where you are sort of a bit all over the place, right? You don't want the wrong one there at the wrong time. Hello from the Gold Coast. Matt Tait here from Fork in the Road, your channel for transformation. Here again on the Gold Coast to do some more coaching videos. And today's video is all about your ego states. What the hell am I talking about? Well, you think about it. Whenever you show up and you just switched on and you have got it together, those times when you are feeling great and you're in on purpose, you're in control, that's potentially an ego state. Conversely, think of a time when you're stroppy, you're not motivated, you're a little bit annoyed with the world, or maybe a time when you're really angry, when you're not happy. That's an ego state. And we all have many parts inside of us. As we say in NLP, we have parts to us. And it's like a committee meeting inside your system. But that committee has a driver, someone who sits in that executive seat, someone who sits in the chairperson's position, right? And if you think about that chairperson, the person who's the chair of your body and your brain, or potentially even the person who's driving the bus, right? Who's dictating the lefts and the rights and the straight aheads. That person in the chairperson's position, the chair position, is the executive. And so there's so many parts to us. There's the part that shows up at work when you're working really well. There's the part that nurtures. There's the part that loves. There's the part that gets excited. There's a part that is like a kid inside. There's the part that is competitive. There's the part that maybe is avoiding. There's the part that has no direction. There's a part that does have direction. When you start to recognize the parts inside of yourself, and then you recognize what they are, what their intention is, what are they trying to do, is there some sort of positive intent behind it, those parts can be identified. And when you identify it, you can then understand who has the executive seat. There's one seat, and that is called the executive. There's a part of your brain called the executive function. And the executive is what we want to control and bring forward into the executive the appropriate part for the appropriate situation. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, you don't want the stroppy, angry part in the executive when you're supposed to be at work. Or you don't want the one that's relaxing, that's an ego state, when you're playing sport and you need to focus. You don't want the one that is, wishy-washy, not making decisions when you've got to make a lot of decisions. You want to have the right ego state there. So that's what I'm talking about. So identifying what's in you an ego state where you're showing up differently. Maybe it's an ego state of being calm and centered, or maybe there's an ego state where you are sort of a bit all over the place, right? You don't want the wrong one there at the wrong time. So what this little technique I learned from Mike Mandel is to bring forward the appropriate ego state. So you just tap into those times when you were on purpose, or you were in control, or you were confident, or there'll be some time in your life when you've had that. And if you can recognize that part in you, like when was there a time when you had intention? Tap into that old memory. It might even be a recent memory where you had intention. You could be just going up to the supermarket where you had intention to get a bunch of things to cook a meal. That was purpose driven. And maybe maybe you were a mother or a father, and so you were looking to look after your kids, right? And so you had intention to get it done, get home and cook the meal to look after your family. Like, there's ego states in all sorts of situations. So when you identify in you a positive ego state, equally if you identify a negative ego state, which gosh, I've got a few of those too. Well, we have to try and get that part of us out of the executive and look after it, let it know we'll have your needs met. We're not going to upset you. We want to look after you. We thank you for looking after us. But right now, we need a different part of us in the executive. And there's a little technique where you tap on the back of your hand between the small finger and the ring finger in the little crevice, and you just tap away on it. I can't do it right now because I'm holding my gimbal. And you tap away on it and you say, I am statements. And you bring that part forward. You tap into the old memory and you bring it forward. And you change your physiology, you change your focus, you change your intention, your thinking changes. Every part of you starts to alter. And as a result, your actions start to change too, right? So it makes sense, doesn't it, that you will actually step forward differently if you're in a stroppy, I don't want to mood versus I can get this done. I'll figure it out. I've got intention. I know what my purpose is here. So that is the theory behind ego states. Bring the part of you that's most useful to the executive, into the front of your mind, and you can change your daily actions. So if you're not happy with your results, bring forward that part of your ego state. Bring forward the intention one. Bring forward the confident one. Bring forward the competent one. Bring forward the one that figures it out no matter what. Whatever the statement is, you can figure it out for yourself. So think about that right now. What's an ego state you would like to bring forward more often in your life? I hope that helps today. Hey, I'd love to hear by commenting below, what ego state did you bring to the fore? What ego state, what part of you, as we'd say in NLP, which inner child, it might have been a confident part, the professional part, whatever it is, what's the positive one you're going to bring forward in your life right now? So comment below. I'd love to hear which one you will bring forward. This is Matt Tait from Falcon Road. As always, like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to continue to give great feedback to you guys and hear what's really hitting the button for you, what's really helping you. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Matt Tait signing out.